a virus that brought the world to a standstill. Coronavirus. Millions fell ill, economies collapsed, and for the first time in modern history, the entire planet realized how vulnerable we truly are to something we cannot even see. But one question still remains: where did it come from? Some scientists believe it had a natural origin, a transmission from animals to humans, something that has happened before. Others suggest that perhaps a single mistake inside a laboratory could have been enough. The truth is, we still don't know for sure, and maybe that is the most unsettling part of all. Because COVID was not the end of the story. It was a warning. Deep beneath the Earth's surface, locked inside ancient ice, there are things that have not seen the world for tens of thousands of years. Viruses, waiting in silence. Some of them, even after thousands of years frozen, can come back to life. And as the planet warms, those doors are slowly opening. But the threat doesn't only come from the past. In the present, inside highly secured laboratories, where even the air is controlled, viruses are not just stored. They are studied, modified, and sometimes recreated to understand what might come next. Science is trying to stay ahead of disaster. But even scientists admit one small mistake could be enough. Yet viruses are not only about disease. Some of them can change behavior, reducing fear, triggering aggression, altering the way a living being reacts. And this is where things become far more disturbing. Because in nature, there are organisms that don't just infect, they control. A fungus, known as cordyceps, invades the body of an insect, takes over its brain, forces it to move to a specific place, and then kills it, using its body to spread further. Complete control, no resistance. And while this happens in insects, it proves something deeply unsettling. Control of behavior is biologically possible. Now consider this. There are viruses, like rabies, that can already affect the brain. They increase aggression, suppress fear, and completely alter behavior. Which raises a question. If a virus can influence the human mind, even partially, where is the line between free will and manipulation? For now, a true zombie virus does not exist, not like in movies. The human brain is too complex, too protected. But some scientists suggest that if one day a virus evolves that can enter the brain, affect behavior, and spread rapidly, then something similar could emerge. Not The Walking Dead, but something far more realistic. A living human, with lost control over their own actions. But perhaps the strangest truth of all is inside you. Within every cell of your body, there are traces of ancient viruses that became part of human DNA millions of years ago. They never left. They became part of us. Around 8% of the human genome has viral origins, which means you are not entirely human. You are a living archive of infections, survival, and transformation. And even today, some of these ancient viral sequences can reactivate under certain conditions. Viruses don't just destroy, they rewrite. They transfer genes. They reshape life. So maybe the real question isn't, when will the next virus appear? But this: if viruses have always been part of this world, and even part of us, are we really in control, or have we just been lucky so far? If you think the most dangerous virus in history was COVID, then you're missing a much darker story. There were viruses that wiped out hundreds of millions of people. But the real question is, where did these viruses come from? And is something even worse still out there? Smallpox, one of the deadliest viruses humanity has ever faced, responsible for over 300 million deaths. It covered the human body in painful lesions and haunted civilizations for centuries, until something changed. In 1796, an English doctor named Edward Jenner made a groundbreaking discovery. He noticed that milkmaids who had been infected with a mild disease called cowpox never caught smallpox. So he did something no one had done before. He used this weaker virus to train the human immune system to fight the deadly one. For the first time in history, humans didn't just suffer, they fought back. And slowly, through vaccination, smallpox was erased from the face of the earth. In 1918, a virus emerged that didn't just target the weak. It killed the young, the healthy. The Spanish flu took around 50 million lives in less than 2 years. And the most terrifying part, there was no cure, no vaccines, no real treatment, only masks, quarantines, and hope. In the end, it wasn't medicine that stopped it. It was time and immunity. But not all viruses kill quickly. HIV works silently, destroying the immune system until the body can no longer defend itself, even against the simplest infections. And here's something many people don't realize. One of the deadliest pandemics in history wasn't even caused by a virus. The Black Death was a bacterium, spread by fleas, carried by rats, and it wiped out entire cities within days. Most of these deadly diseases share one thing in common. They came from animals. A virus living quietly inside an animal can mutate, and with a single change, become a global threat. What makes a virus truly dangerous comes down to 3 things: how fast it spreads, how deadly it is, and how well it can hide from the immune system. You might be wondering, how many viruses actually exist? So far, scientists have identified only a few thousand types, but that's just what we know. In reality, there are likely millions still undiscovered. And it gets even stranger. In the oceans alone, the number of viruses reaches 10 to the power of 31, a number so large it's almost impossible to imagine. But this isn't a contradiction. We know only a few thousand types, yet each type exists in countless copies, billions, trillions, beyond counting. And it may sound surprising, but viruses are not just our enemies. They play a crucial role in nature. And even more surprising, a part of human DNA comes from ancient viruses. Now imagine if every virus suddenly vanished. At first, the world might seem healthier, but in reality, ecosystems would collapse, natural balance would break, and life on Earth would begin to fall apart. Because throughout history, viruses have killed millions. But perhaps the most dangerous virus has not yet been discovered. This was our journey into the world of viruses, a world that may seem mysterious, even frightening, but one that life on this planet quietly depends on.